Reveal Orpheus. Wait, you should already be revealed. What is going on? Me? Fresh cash? Me. Score. Active. It's next. What is my shit?
So the plan is to have them appear once we get to the tree, right?
Currently, yes. You take out your little gem and you call one of the names. I'm assuming you're gonna call Gabranth.
Yeah. So is Steph here?
I hear him typing.
So Steph, I thought that the grimoire. So this is something I missed that conversation there because it was in Discord. The grimoire, and when you use like witchcraft, there's always an equal negative effect that happens to your incantation. Is there not?
Yeah. So everything that you do that does not follow the natural order will cost more and more of an equivalent exchange. If you do something that restores something to the natural order, then the cost is lowered and sometimes negated.
Okay, but wouldn't what I said in that chat apply here? The natural order in terms of balance is already there because Zodiark is alive. He's that balance for the chaos for the cosmic crystal.
Zodiark himself is not against the natural order because they fused Erebos with the cosmos. So he's a natural thing, you know, like he represents something natural, which is nothing. But the crystals are also natural because they were born of those elements to purify those elements using Occurian magic. And Occurian magic uses the fabric of reality to like gently alter things. It's not like Lunarian magic. So technically, restoring the crystal is restoring something natural and wouldn't cost a lot in itself. But, and this is what I told Miss Mess, it's a big but. If she summons an incantation to restore the cosmic crystal, and Zodiark resists, then the witchcraft will need to call upon more and more magic to fight Zodiark's resistance. To try it, think of like I explained it to her as two people tugging on the same rope.
So the incantation expects it to be quote unquote somewhat easy because it's part of the natural order.
Exactly.
So as soon as it starts and Zodiark feels it, he can fight back, and then the incantation requires drawing more, causing more negative feedback, which is why, since the incantations align with Occuria, similar type of magic, they said it would cost a lot more if they were to reforge it directly instead of just giving us the power to reforge it.
So it's funny that you should say that because yes, their magic is actually very similar to witchcraft. And they told you guys that if you wanted it just instantly snap redone, they could do it, but it would cost a lot, and they don't know what it would cost, but it would take a heavy toll.
My assumption is it would probably outright kill the primordials, just completely drain them, and it might even feed into other eidolons.
It might destroy the rift.
I think. Yeah, I think it's something around those lines. I don't think the Occuria would destroy the rift, but
they wouldn't be the ones choosing. That's what Miss
okay.
Mess assumes the Occuria would choose something horrible. They don't choose. The Cosmos chooses. Not the Cosmos,
Okay.
sorry.
Fate.
That sounds like Zodiark choosing. No, it's like destiny chooses. You know what I mean? Like it's it could just as easily be, for example, right? The drawback could just as easily be every single Fabula Nova crystal shattering at once. And the 5 most powerful beings on the planet being drained dry. Or every faith circle in existence just evaporating.
Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was thinking of that when they said it during the session of how bad it can be. And yes, they are obscure, so in my head I was like, it must be really bad if Gayroon is warning us.
That said, the reason they offered to drain the energy from the primordials is because the Occuria know how to redirect the energy so that their magic is drawing upon the energy that they've pooled somewhere instead of just random chaos wherever it can. So the terrible either. No. If she recites an incantation, then the magic will slowly begin to repair the crystal. And as soon as Zodiark starts to resist, if all of you like pound into him, like start attacking and like, you know what I mean, like hurting him, then he'll be able to resist less, and then the magic will draw upon less and will create less chaos in order to accomplish the restoration of the crystal.
But that would require us starting silence, right?
I feel all of your plans are skirting the beginning of silence right now. Like, you're going inside. Brink of Midnight was meant to take place outside. You guys are already going inside. As soon as you engage the Wraith, we're skipping Brink of Midnight and going into silence.
So what happens in the case that Jekyll is channeling into a catalyst, be it Ophiuchus or Tsukiyomi, and there's resistance that starts, undoubtedly. Would somebody like Jekyll alone be able to amplify with the catalyst while we attack? Or is it this?
Are you talking about the current plan that they have?
Yeah.
That you have? Okay, so
yeah.
Their plan is to reach the faith tree. You know what a faith tree is, right?
Yes.
The faith tree inside Zodiark. And the plan that you guys have isn't necessarily the same thing, because it's not Zodiark resisting the reforging of the crystal. It's you guys literally going for the core and damaging it and hurting him enough that he can't fight for it, and the crystal just takes over and starts unraveling it from him. Because if you guys damage his faith tree, you damage his entire being. And the more his entire being is damaged, the less he can hold on to the cosmos. So it's a different strategy you guys are doing.
Okay.
So Jekyll doesn't necessarily have to fight Zodiark if he reforges the crystal. Jekyll has to start slowly piecing it together as much as he can, while 2 other people funnel into the faith tree and try to shatter it.
Yeah.
And then that, like Zodiark letting go and, like, having trouble holding on to it because the 2 people are hurting him, that's what Jekyll is taking advantage of, and he's taking every single, like, moment he can, and he's forging more and more of the crystal. And the more of the crystal that Jekyll reforges, the more the crystal kind of, it doesn't have a mind of its own, but it starts to grab onto the cosmos. You know what I mean? More and more and more.
Kind of a snowball effect.
Yeah. It starts to filter, and when a Fabula Nova crystal filters the magic, no one can control it in its entirety, which means that Zodiark cannot continue to exist. So, it's like, yeah, Jekyll, it's like a balance, you know? He's trying to, like, rebalance a scale, whereas if you guys use witchcraft to just reforge the crystal, then Zodiark will start fighting it. Because there's no one hurting him. Unless you guys try to hurt him at the same time. That works too.
Yeah.
What's up?
I just dislike the like with the Occuria, we control what happens, right? So we don't kill the primordials unless they choose to be at rest. They let themselves go. Gayroon said that those that choose to let go, will be given that. we know the outcome of what will happen. Whereas with the incantation, we kind of throw it up in the air, depending on how well our session goes when we attack him to distract him. I tend to want to lean on the Occuria plan still, purely based on the fact that we control the outcome of the draining for the power required.
You guys also have a big bag of Aeon batteries that were given to you by Torben.
Mm-hmm. He proposes that it'll be enough power.
Scientifically speaking, theoretically speaking, Torbad believes that the batteries he gave you will be enough. So that's another plan too, like a backup. But it's a big pack. Like it's clunky, and you need someone strong to carry it.
I mean, Orpheus could carry it.
Karos is carrying it. You need 70 strength.
I could easily carry it. Trust me.
I know you could roll physique to try to carry it and base it off your dex, but
I think my like modifier is 70.
good lord, mate.
No, I don't. It's not that high, but
Can we connect?
Yep.
I can connect now. Okay. I was
I'm
updating.
just getting my
Just waiting.
Who are you bringing?
Orpheus and Lumi. I think we should have
No.
Jekyll there.
Which NPCs?
Amarid
I think
Guado.
we should have Jekyll there. It's gonna be Gabranth, Amarid. Obviously, Garoon's gonna be there.
Yeah.
And I think we should have Jekyll there if we do the Occuria plan, because Garoon will explain. He said he would give us the method to doing it. And
So
I
you
think
want to call Jekyll?
I think Jekyll should be there to listen.
Fair enough. Oh, Trevos also has enough strength, was what DePaul is saying. So we got people.
Yeah, Trevos has the strength to carry it too, I know.
Are all of our strength?
So what are we thinking? Plan A, or this is a deciding moment here.
I'm for the Occuria plan and have the incantation as plan B.
I think it's the less gamble plan. There's the least amount of gamble in that plan.
I agree with that.
I don't have Orpheus.
He's mine.
And I know Thunder wasn't for the Occuria. He was open-minded about it, but he wasn't for it because he thinks that there shouldn't be the Occuria and there shouldn't be the Primordials. I mean, like they should be there, but not with as much power as they have, right?
And he wants humanity to define its own course. That's basically.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think the Occuria plan brings us closer to that, versus keeping gods that are very emotional. I mean, obviously some of them are very wise as well.
Yeah, there's two sides to it.
There's a few of them that are very emotional, very powerful. If you have time after this stuff, I think I need the levels.
Level ruse.
Okay, where's my physique here? 62 modifier. Physique. did Steph describe it when I'm lifting something heavy? It's like I'm going so fast around it that it's almost like I'm duplicating myself and lifting it from a bunch of different places
Yeah.
at the same time.
Fucking ridiculous. Fitting for the Dragon Ball Z kick we're about to get into.
Yeah, the only thing I would like, why do they make these games so expensive?
I don't fucking know. It's insane.
Yeah, it sucks that they're that expensive, but I can guarantee you that I'll play with you. So at least you have someone you'll play with. Savande's getting it too, so he's gonna play too.
You guys are getting it on Steam?
Yep.
And you're gonna play with a controller?
Yeah, I'm gonna play
Yeah.
with a PS4 controller.
I'm gonna see if I can find my Xbox one, but if not, then I have my PS4 one. I haven't seen my Xbox controller in fucking a while. Christ.
I saw a clip. Savande showed me a clip, Steve, of a guy that was fighting someone, and they had this like sequence where they were fighting, and then they both got into a zone, and they both started like charging, and then they were like the next 12 hits they tried to do on each other, they were dodging, so they went like p'choom, p'choom, p'choom. And then he yells out, "I'm Dragon Ball Z!"
I mean, we used to have some pretty crazy
I
fight
know.
in Tenkaichi.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I said.
Tenkaichi, it worked the same way. You could dodge someone's attack if you timed it properly. And I remember Max used to get mad at us. Remember? He used to like, because you and me sometimes would go on a streak where we couldn't hit each other.
Yeah.
And Max would be like, "No one's gotten hit in 3 minutes." And it was so funny. I remember when he used to say that.
They've balanced that mechanic in that you actually have to. It consumes gauge to do that, so you can't do it indefinitely. But
Alright.
it is.
I
Cool.
remember wanting to be so good with Trunks, future Trunks, and could never do it. I used to always default to. Do you remember stuff?
There was Kid Buu
I had a
was
few.
one of them.
Yes, Kid Buu. That was my.
Buu
that
was
was
one of
when
them.
if I got beat a few times, I would go to
Yeah,
Kid.
Kid
All
Buu-
right, I'm
by the
pulling
way,
it out.
It's universally accepted that Kid Buu is busted, by the way.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's a feels bad moment, like when I was first told that Meta Knight in like
Yeah.
OG Brawl was
Yeah.
broken, and I was like, "Aw, that was like my favorite character."
But yeah, so I used to default to Kid Buu. As soon as I would lose a couple matches, and I'd be like, "All right," and I would just take Kid Buu.
Pull up the sleeves. I'm pulling him out.
They added in future Trunks from Super, so he's actually relevant. So like, I think he'll be like one of the people you can use.
Yeah, that's another thing that kind of sucked in Tenkaichi is that if you played somebody like Raditz, he was
I mean, it's the
irrelevant.
same way in this one. But the thing
Oh, okay.
is when you play ranked, they assigned a number to everyone, and on a team you can only have X. Like you have a cap amount from that number that they assign to everyone that you can have on your team. So you can pick like the strongest person, but you'll only be able to have like him and one weak person on your team.
Yeah, it's 15.
Okay.
So,
I think
and then they assigned like really low numbers to like Krillin to Yamcha. So if you want to use Krillin, like a whole team of 5, you can. And then a person who like mains, I don't know, like Ultra Instinct Goku will only be able to use Ultra Instinct Goku.
Okay, I see. I see what you mean. Okay, yeah, that brings some balance to it. Yeah. There's so many fucking characters.
Yeah,
Like, how do you
184.
balance this? I mean, Chi-Chi is there.
She is?
I didn't
Yeah?
I didn't see Chi-Chi.
Unless I'm mistaken, it's not her, but it looks like her. On the right there.
Oh no, he's looking at what's his name, Gohan's wife,
Oh.
Oh,
Videl.
yes, her. Yes, sorry.
Videl. Yeah.
Hell,
Yeah,
that could also be
Videl.
Pan, to be honest.
My bad.
There's still some characters they haven't added that they could easily, and that I can definitely see coming into like a DLC. Because like Vegeta and Frieza and technically Goku too have an extra form in the manga that is
Frieza, Steve,
Fairly
has
well known now.
Golden Frieza now,
Oh,
which is so badass. It makes me want to main Frieza. It's so awesome.
But me, the Buu saga was my favorite saga. So it's like, I just want to try Kid Buu, you know,
I mean, they're all there. All the boos. Super
or
Boo,
the Gotenks Buu. I forgot what
Fat
he's
Boo.
called. What's the Gotenks Buu called again?
I don't know if he has an actual name other
Yeah,
than
the
just
one that's can
Gotenks.
summon ghosts. It's Gohan Boo. I can't remember what it's called. I think
No,
it's called-
Gohan. It's not Gohan Buu.
Gohan Buu can
different
do
one.
it too,
Yeah, it's a different one.
but
Fat Boo will always be my favorite.
yeah, the Gotenks Buu actually has the fusion dance vest on.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know what his. I forget his name.
Yeah, I think they just put Boo and then in brackets the person that he absorbed after it. I don't know if they have like legit names.
Yeah, and the kid, when young Trunks and Gohan fuse,
Goten.
Goten. Yeah, I used to play Goten too.
Go Tanks. They turn into Go Tanks,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a really cool character.
No, Goten is the kid. The kid
Yeah,
one.
but when they fuse, they turn into Go Tanks.
Yes.
Okay, so who's the adult Gotenks? Is it still called Gotenks? Am I being dumb?
What do you mean
There's
adult
no
Gotenks?
adult Go Tanks. There's Vegito or Gogeta.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what I'm mixing it up with. Okay, sorry, it's been a while.
It's alright.
Been a while.
Cell was really fun to play too. With
If
all those
you-
forms.
If you like Future Trunks, you'd really like. I think it's either the first or the second arc of Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, because Future Trunks comes back. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a main character in that one.
Oh my god, they have this. What's he
Alright,
called?
let's get
The Saiyaman or something like that. What the hell's he
Cyberman.
called?
Cyberman.
Cyberman.
Oh my god. You can have just a bunch of Cybermen on your team.
Yeah, this is a lot. I don't recognize a lot of them.
A good, a good like fifth of them, 1/5 of them are new from Super. So
Oh, the guy from Battle of the Gods is there.
I'm gonna assume Beerus.
Beerus.
Beerus. Yeah, Beerus is there.
Yeah.
In a second here, DePaulo.
Beerus is awesome. I love Beerus.
It looks fun. It's just it like looks cool, and the reviews and videos are like raving it. It's just fuck, man. They always make these things expensive. It's annoying.
Oh, nice song.
Okay. I'm DJing. And
Oh, hi, Thunder.
all right. Hi. Okay. So we're gonna start the Warriors of Light in Castle Cornelia. Throne room. Marble flooring. The Covenant stones lining the walls, 6 of them. The throne room at the end, made out of what looks like dragon scales.
So cool. I love it.
A culmination of all of the dragon scales shed off of all of the draconic eidolons fashioned into a throne.
Wait, is there a map?
No,
There is no map.
Okay, so we're doing the plane.
ain't like last time. Have you contacted Amarid? Right. Lumi will put his finger to his ear and tap the communicator that he has and call up Amarid. Why is my thing so sensitive? Bring, bring.
Calling up Amarid.
For the last time, Karos, I am not giving you access to Sephiroth.
Not Karos, but I'll tell him. This is Lumi Oakwood, Master Amarid.
Oh. I suppose you want something else.
Requesting permission to arrive at Deepground Facility. We can talk in person.
The Warriors of Light don't need permission to arrive at Deepground Facility. Any Deepground Facility. There was a bulletin sent out by Torbad.
Very well. We'll see you in a couple seconds. Orpheus, hold me.
I'll grab onto Lumi.
All right. Tendrils from the live stream will snake up out of the ground and encircle both of you, turning you both into Firefly makeups and causing you to shoot through the live stream and emerge at Mako Deepground Facility 9.
We need to get word out to Gabranth as well.
As you arrive at Deepground Facility 9, you are near one of the landing platforms, right next to Amarid. Actually, a little too close to Amarid, causing him to turn around and take a few steps back.
Lumi will then tap his communicator and end the call.
That's a new trick.
You like it?
I feel like if we were to draw upon that, whatever you did, we could create crystal points all over the world and create a network.
You know, that's actually a really good idea.
It's not a bad idea.
Maybe after this whole thing is resolved, we'll work on that.
To come up with a name.
Crystallites?
Life speed?
No, 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 no. Those are terrible names.
A voice from behind Amarid will just kind of ring out as he sticks his head out, and his little pointy wizard's hat is just flopping around.
And what would you name them?
Say
Jacob?
we call it Aetherites.
Where are you
I
getting
don't
the...
know why the name just came to me.
Where are you
Does
getting
have
the
a
word
nice
Aether
ring
from?
to it.
I feel like we're getting dangerously close to copyright infringement.
Amarid will just kind of shake it off for a moment, and then his face will turn serious as he looks at the two of you and just kind of inclines with open hands.
Every single time, every time I get contacted by one of you, you give me a reason to say fuck no. So, tell me why you're here so we can get it out of the way.
Yeah, look to Orpheus.
Could you contact Gabranth, Lumi? Have him flown here.
Lumi will pace to the side and tap his communicator and contact Gabranth as well.
Amarid will blink for a moment.
Gabranth? Gabranth? Or Bosch Gabranth?
Noah Gabranth.
Of course it's Noah Gabranth.
Amarid will rub his temples with the index finger and thumb of his left hand as he shuts his eyes.
Okay, why is Gabranth coming here?
We spoke to Amaru, Tsukiyomi, and Geiru.
Lumi will cut off Orpheus for 1 second. Is this area secure? As in-
Secure.
Anti-communications, eavesdropping, all that?
Amarid will one of his eyebrows and look at you like you're daft.
Hey, there's a giant
what
manta
am
in the
I-
sky.
What am I cutting communications for? This isn't some invading technological army. It's a giant Eidolon that you all set free.
Who has a very technologically inclined Eidolon in his employ?
Really?
Yes.
Amarid will point to one of the nearby Imperial soldiers, who won't notice him for the first few seconds, and Amarid will, his face will harden for each second that the soldier doesn't notice him. And as the soldier turns and sees him, you'll see the soldier fully clad in Imperial armor just kind of do a little yelp, like, yeah, and jump, and run over to Amarid and salute.
Apparently the enemy has some sort of spy technology that we were not informed about.
As he says we were not informed about, he'll shoot Lumi like a face-melting glare.
Have Zargaboth put up the communication blockers, if you guys still have those. I know you still have those. You used them in the Imperial War. Go.
Before the soldier can even respond, he'll kind of shoo him away, and the soldier will jump again and just run off. You'll hear his armor clanking as he runs off.
We should wait a few minutes for the systems to be active.
Is Gabranth on his way? Lumi?
Still ringing.
The text or message that you send Balthier is received with a thumbs up emoji.
You mean Gabranth, right?
Balthier.
Oh, that one. Got it.
Few minutes passed. The shield that's surrounding the place that looks like more of a magical physical barrier, all of a sudden, a graph will appear inside it, made out of just tiny little hexagonal shapes, as a new system is added, and seemingly communications are blocked from anything entering that is inside the barrier. A few seconds after that happens, the straw will appear in the sky. Will land nearby on one of the landing platforms. You guys will be able to see. It'll be very far away. But as you guys see it land, you'll see the back hatch open up and Gabranth just kind of climb out. As he kind of descends and leaves the straw, the hatch will close and the straw will take off again. As Gabranth just kind of lands and just stands there looking around, every single Imperial soldier will stop what they're doing and stare.
I'll wave him over.
Gabranth will see you and will nod and very slowly walk. As he walks, it almost feels like time slows down and his cape just kind of billows in the wind. As he walks across the platforms, down the winding stairwell, some Arcadians that are not too busy staring, as he walks near them, will drop everything they have and will salute. You'll see him just kind of eye them, but not really acknowledge them. It'll take him a few minutes to reach you, but as he does, he'll walk up the stairs and Amarid will just kind of stare at him.
Of course. Very well. So Noah,
He'll just kind of look at Gabranth so that Gabranth can kind of confirm it's Noah, and Gabranth will sense this and will nod before Amarid continues.
Noah's apparently here. Can I have an explanation?
Orpheus will turn to Lumi. I believe that I am possibly immune to being spied on by him. Lumi.
Just because you're immune doesn't mean we all aren't.
Should I speak the words will not reach him? sees me as just a fiend. I'm ignored by him. I'm invisible, lack of a better word.
From what I understand,
Amarid will chime in.
this isn't Zodiark himself, but one of his lackeys, right?
That's correct.
So that means that depending on the means that he is using to spy, he may see you. Assuming
That's
he's
true.
not fully under control.
An extension of Zodiark might be obscured, but better not take the risk. Solus. You remember Solus? Its name echoes through eternity on this planet. Vouched for Noah. Vouched of his deserving redemption. And so here he is, thanks to Hard Spiritus.
A
That is
primordial.
why he's with us.
I see.
Amarid will eye Gabranth for a moment and then just kind of nod to him.
Considering the damage done by you in the Imperial War, I will just be glad that you are on our side.
Gabranth will look at Amarid as he speaks to him. He won't say a word. Instead, he'll just kind of nod his helmet quietly. In the distance, one of the Arcadians that is stopped and staring will squee.
And these guys are seeing ghosts right now. Like,
They're not seeing just a ghost. They're seeing like a legend.
yeah.
I love it.
All right then. Since you've vouched for his integrity, let us move on, and you can finally tell me why you're here and disturbing my research.
It's a very good reason, Amarid, I assure you.
Isn't it always a good reason?
Yes, Jekyll, you need to stay close and listen very carefully. The fate of the world might depend on you.
Worlds,
Jekyll will
two
just
of them.
kind of blink twice.
I don't recall planning to go anywhere.
We need to tell him, don't we?
It'll require making history, Jekyll, and channeling power like you've never felt before, even after you nearly killed yourself channeling crystal.
As you talk, Jekyll's hands slowly raise up and his fingers just start twiddling together. And he kind of tilts his head, and then by the time you're done saying what's happening, he'll squee just like the Arcadian.
Alright, so down to business, Amarid. I'll take the Aeon Gem out of my pocket. Yerun gave us this the last time we spoke with him. Spiritus at Noah's resurrection. We require the aid of the Occuria to defeat Zodiark. I'm afraid there's too many variables and risks should we not accept their aid. And so they will aid us in gathering the power required to reforge the crystal. This is where Jekyll comes in, using a catalyst, one of two. Still uncertain at this point what the catalyst will be, but it'll be one of two. He will channel that power from this condensed source, cube or sphere that Gerun and the Occuria will provide us. He will channel it slowly and methodically into the shards of the cosmic crystal, thus reforging it. This, however, does have drawbacks. The primordials will be stripped of a certain amount of power that they hold. They will become eidolons. Very powerful eidolons, but eidolons and no longer gods, no longer primordials. That is the drawback. Within this plan, we require aid. As you know, Kaldis, Zin, the Red Tower is with one he believes to be Amon. In this Red Tower, though, what they seek to awaken, change the fates of everything we have planned. So we will require some assistance by you, if you agree, to go to the Red Tower with Gabranth and aid Kaldis, but doing it intelligently, as I know you are. We cannot
You'll
give up.
turn and look at Gabranth as you're speaking. Keep going.
We cannot give up the knowledge that we have to Amon. Kaldis has no clue of who Amon truly is. And when you both go in to assist, you will act the same way as Kaldis does. We mean to take him by surprise.
And so Kaldis does not turn on you, we're enlisting the aid of Mimsy as well.
That is true, Mimsy will be there as well.
Oh boy.
So it's quite the trio, to say the least. Throughout this plan, there is another aspect to it. That knowing the stories of who you are and how you are, and knowing the legends of Gabranth and how he is, this would be a very difficult decision. But Geirun has proposed to us to offer them a new potential Dynast King. And then I'll switch my gaze from Gabranth to Amarid. And you are both our candidates.
Amarid's expression will remain emotionless as he just kind of brings his hand back up to his temples and just starts rubbing his temples again. Gabranth will stare forward quietly before ultimately shaking his head.
I am not worthy.
Yes, I understood that the first time you said it, Gabranth. There's no need to explain it to me.
Often
So that's
those,
the plan.
Often those best fit for power are those who don't want it, or don't believe they deserve it.
Precisely.
Amarid will eye Gabranth out of the corner of his eye, and then he'll smile.
I bet you I want it even less than you do. Geirun has never, ever stopped talking about me being the Dynast King. And every single time,
He'll bring up his forearm with a junctioned materia in it, with a faint golden glow, and he'll emphasize every word as he says it.
I have told him no. I know you can hear me, you wraith little freak.
The material will pulse for a moment as if Geirun is responding.
So, we are aware that both of you, one feels unworthy and the other who just simply does not want it.
Oh, I'm worthy. I just don't want it.
I was talking about Gabranth thinking that he's unworthy. I know you don't want it, Amarid. But
Have you
the
ever
thing
thought
is,
of giving it to someone like Mimsy? I'm sure she would love to be Dynast Queen.
And that's exactly why we shouldn't give it to her.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think she'd make a
So-
fine Dynast Mughal Queen.
So here's the thing, Amarid, is that we need a Dynast King that is balanced,
That sounds a little sexist.
or queen. We need a Dynast, okay, that is balanced.
I see.
And somebody who we can trust to pass down that throne to somebody else who will be as balanced as they are, so that it never ceases to be balanced.
Lest we
As
get
you
another dice
speak,
dog.
You'll see Amarid's face connect a bunch of dots together, and his face turn deadly serious as he points a finger in your face, and then he points a finger in Lumi's face.
Balanced? No. Before you even ask, no. Do you understand? No. No as I can possibly say it. I'll even cast a spell and write it across the fucking sky for you. No, we are not freeing Vana. We are not freeing Vari. The angel bitch.
Fariat.
That's the one.
Okay. So Amarid, tell me, where do we source the amount of power required to reforge the crystal?
Torbad! My good
with
friend
no-
Torbad.
You can guarantee those batteries will be enough to reforge the cosmic crystal to steal the power away from the cosmos. You feel like that's enough.
And you can guarantee me that Vana won't just turn on the Occuria like, I don't know, he's done in the past, and maybe sire Erebos as his Dynast King?
If Vana decides to sire somebody like him as the Dynast King, the power is not nearly as strong as if they all agree upon someone. Vana will agree for Gabranth. He would agree for Mimsy as well, actually.
Vana, from what Gerun has told me, values ruthlessness. He won't agree with me. And as soon as he disagrees, I'll dispel him back to where he came from.
All we have to do, Amarid, is look into your past. How many deaths are on your hands? Even if they are unwanted, even if they are deserved. There's many.
You'll see Amarid's face become very dire as he stares at you. Roll a charisma saving throw.
Here's my saving throw.
Yeah.
Can I keep talking to save a bit?
I mean, you've already talked. This is the result of you talking.
Saving throw, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Ah, I was on the 17.
DC was 30.
Hey.
17.
DC was 30.
Alright, fine. Summon him. But he looks at me wrong. And they won't have to seal him again.
And as he says that, Amarid's eyes will flicker and the pupils will disappear and they'll become just pure blue for a moment. Gabranth will stare at Amarid as he finishes making his point, and then he'll turn his attention to Orpheus.
If he looks at one of us wrong, then I will help send him away.
Orpheus will look at Gabranth and back at Amarid. And we're in agreement. Let's summon them.
As you look over at Jekyll, since he's been quiet in the corner, you realize that his eyes have become the size of saucers. Ever since you started describing reforging the cosmic crystal, they've been shimmering like stars. And you'll see him just kind of fantasizing in the corner. His hands will be moving around, his fingers wiggling, and you'll see out of like just pure mist, like latent energy in the air, he's made like a cute little crystal in his hands.
Oh
as
my
he's, like,
God.
practicing reforging the crystal. All right. Gabranth will look at Amarid, who will surprisingly look at him after he emphasizes that he would kill Vana as well, and Amarid will just kind of nod approvingly to Gabranth.
My only dilemma here, and then I'll look at Jekyll, is the wizard powerful enough?
Lumi will bring his palm to his mouth. Oh.
Jekyll will stop forging, and his eyes will become wide, and he'll slowly turn them to you. His head will tilt like twitch, and as it twitches, the gem he was creating will just go poof. The wizard is powerful enough. Master Orpheus.
It's all the reassurance we need. Would you do the honors, Amarid, or would you like me to?
Amarid will shake his head.
This is your batshit crazy plan. You can do the honors.
Very well. I will take the crystal, and I will say a room.
As you do so, Amarid's wrist will glow for a moment as Geirun's power pulses. The gem will pulse as well as the materia inside Amarid's arm, and a wraith will appear before the party.
Hey, say again.
Hovering in the air to the point where every single Arcadian in this place once again drops what they're doing and stares up with their jaws wide open.
You would think they'd be used to this by now.
They haven't seen an Occuria since Vana.
Fair point.
How many times are we going to... I swear, the therapy bill alone.
Gabranth will just kind of slowly cast his eyes across the hundreds of Imperial soldiers, just kind of littered all across the facility, and you'll just kind of hear him hum to himself for a moment.
Amarid will turn to Gabranth.
I thought the damage we had done irreparable. I am glad to see that our foolishness did not destroy Arcadia.
Arcadia is thriving under the guise of Zargaboth.
Zargaboth was always wise. He is a good High Magister, I have no doubt. What of Larsa?
Wait, out of character. Larsa's not dead, right? We saved it.
Larsa's the Emperor of Arcadia.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if we had failed at that point. And Larsa is still currently Emperor. Or true Emperor.
As you say that, Gabranth will look at you, then look at the Arcadians. And as you tell him that Larsa is still alive, Gabranth will very slowly raise a fist and give an Arcadian salute. And as he does so, in unison, to the point where it echoes out through the facility, every single Arcadian in the facility will salute him back.
That's lovely.
Got chills.
Long may he reign.
And every single soldier will yell out, "Long may he reign!" Geirun will stare at Gabranth as this is happening. Wide yellow eyes.
It's good to see you again, Gabriel.
This one bids you good fortune. Have you decided? Are we to aid in the selection of a Dynast King?
Orpheus will nod.
This is the closest to joy that I have felt in a long time.
Gaerun will turn his attention from Gabranth to Amarid.
No one more deserving than you, Amarid.
Amarid will shake his head. Clearly impatient.
Enough with the fancy words, Gaerun. If you're going to call them, then call them.
You need to release Fariat, Amarid.
He'll eye roll.
Just give me a moment to make peace with that. Just call the others.
Gaerun will nod, and very slowly, he'll stare at the object that he gave you, Orpheus, and you'll hear him echo.
You may do this, Orpheus, if you so wish. Simply stare at the stone and repeat after me.
Orpheus will hold the stone in front of his on his open palm, and he will nod.
Fariat.
Fariat.
As you say Boreat, it will pulse again, and another wraith will appear hovering above the party. One golden eye just kind of blazing, watching over everyone. Very thoughtful, very quiet.
It's gonna be very cool to have all of them open on my screen.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Sorry, let's keep going.
Sorry, I thought I was talking. This is like this.
I didn't even hear it.
Serdun.
Still do.
Once again, it will pulse, and another wraith will appear above the party, staring down. This one more... its posture more straight. Its head, almost like it has a raised chin, like it's looking down on everyone. It'll cast its gaze over everyone, clearly ignoring the soldiers as if they are irrelevant, and staring at either Amarid, Gabranth, Orpheus, Lumi, or Jekyll.
I am afraid, my friend, that we require the freedom of Fariat.
Amarid will roll his eyes, and as he does so, his eyes will turn bright blue, and he'll point an open palm at the machine at the very end of the landing, and a rune will appear in his hand, and a beam will fire into the machine. As it does so, the machine will pulse and release one of the cells, causing a very faint pulse of energy as something is released, but cannot be seen. Gaerun will then turn his attention to Orpheus.
Fariat.
Fariat.
An angelic-like Occuria will appear above everyone, staring down. Her eyes calm for someone who has been imprisoned for 10 years. She'll stay quiet for the moment. As she appears, you'll hear Gabranth inhale and exhale. Amarid will place a hand on Gabranth's shoulder plate and look at him.
Will you be okay?
And Gabranth will nod.
The Wraith does not define me.
Amarid will nod. And then he'll turn his attention up to Gaerun.
There are 4 of you. It took 4 of you to seal Vana away. It'll take 4 of you to release him. It's out of my hands now.
Gaerun will turn to the other Occuria, and his eyes will pulse with a golden light. And each of the Occuria one at a time. Their eyes will pulse with a golden light. Another small burst of energy will come from the shadows. And Gerun will turn his attention once again to Orpheus.
Vana.
You'll see Orpheus hesitate as he goes to speak. Vana.
Oh, I love the song choice.
Oh shit, I'm not in that.
The shadows will culminate differently than the other Occuria, who seem to have just kind of reverse evaporated out of nowhere. The shadows will become longer, darker, and will culminate into a wraith staring down at everyone.
Oh god, I have PTSD.
As he appears, he will stare left to right. His eyes, his golden eyes, centering on Gerun.
We are one, Vana. You join the collective, or suffer in darkness again.
Vana's eyes will stare forward for a moment before he responds.
We are one, brother.
Gerun will turn his attention away from Vana back to Orpheus.
Present us with your choice, mortal.
Orpheus will look at Lumi. Choice is on us.
We present Judge Gabranth.
Orpheus will turn and look at Gabranth and then back to Gerun. Judge Gabranth is your Dynast King.
Do you judge him to be honest, selfless, heroic?
I believe he is.
Gerun believes he is as well.
Gerun will turn to Fariat. Fariat will nod as Gerun turns his attention back to Orpheus.
Do you deem him to be wise and knowledgeable?
He is the wisest and the most knowledgeable.
Jekyll will just kind of clear his throat. All the Occuria will turn to Jekyll for a moment.
I'm sorry, Master Occuria. There's something in my throat.
Gerun will turn his attention back to Fariat, who will nod.
Fariat judges. He is worthy.
He will then turn his attention to Zerdun, who will stare at Gerun, tilting his head ever so slightly and nodding. Gerun will then turn his attention back to Orpheus.
Do you claim him? and of sufficient martial skill.
He is one of the greatest tacticians this world has ever seen. Both on the battlefield and outside of it. I do.
He single-handedly took down an entire country. And not just any country, Midgar.
Yeah.
Amarid interrupts as he just kind of points at the Occuria. Zerdun's eyes will glow as he examines Gabranth and then will nod to Gerun.
He is deemed worthy.
Gerun will turn to Fariat, who will stare at him and shake her head. As Gerun nods to her, Fariat will approach.
Is he pure? Does he inspire the masses?
If you were here,
Voice hisses as she speaks.
if you were here about
Orpheus.
5 minutes ago, you could have seen all the troops.
Orpheus will turn to Gabranth and will nod at him, insinuating to do the salute.
Gabranth will hesitate. God, the audio is so annoying. Gabranth will hesitate for a moment before performing an Arcadian salute, whereas every single soldier, even the ones that pretended like they went back to work, will stop and resalute. And again, they will chant out, "Long may he reign!"
And then I'll turn to Fariat and say, "Long may he reign."
Sorry. I need to roll. Fariat will stare at him for a long time before nodding.
He is deemed worthy.
Gabranth will stare up at her in surprise before lowering his gaze to the floor. Finally, Gerun will turn his attention to Vana, who will shake his head and hover forward. As he hovers forward, Vana will almost purposefully hover very close to Gabranth, towering over him.
Is your candidate ruthless? Is your candidate powerful? Undoubting.
You'll see Orpheus kind of chuckle. He has seen more bloodshed than any of your chosen Dynast Kings in your past, Vana. He has conquered more than any of your Dynast Kings in the past. He is ruthless, all while being noble.
You You misunderstand me, warrior. You who would cast me.
As Vana speaks, Gerun will interrupt him.
Us, Vana. We are one.
Vana will wince for a moment.
Vana does not only value blood, but a king must rule, knowing that his word is law, that he controls all, that he alone knows the proper path forward. You speak of bloodshed, warrior. Yet when my eyes look upon Gabranth, I see a true Dynast King's bloodshed. I see bloodshed in the name of Fane Solidar.
Every single Arcadian will just kind of stare at Vana in disbelief. You'll see some of them just kind of like itching towards their like weapons and just kind of resting their hands on their blades, obviously filled with animosity towards the Wraith.
The true Emperor of Arcadia. Long would he have reigned.
If he was worthy.
Vana will stare at you for a moment before turning his attention to Gerun.
I see a whimpering, hesitant boy who slaughtered in the name of his emperor, nothing more. I deem him not worthy.
Then Vana will hover back and take his place in the back. Gabranth will stare up at Vana and nod.
The blood that I shed in the name of my king. I know now that it was folly. I told you.
He'll turn his attention to Orpheus and just kind of grab hold of Orpheus's shoulder in like a reassuring gesture.
There are those who cannot be redeemed.
Okay, give me a sec. If you have any idea, please. I'm trying to think of past discussions here. Trying to bring up a scenario like Pre-Vane.
Pre-Vane.
The conquerings of
I use. It's not bloodshed that he cares about. It's like an unwavering will kind of deal.
Ruthlessness is the word that best describes it. A king that is not afraid to kill and that knows that his path is the only path forward.
Not afraid to kill and knows that his path is the only path forward.
Often that means a Dynast King that likes to shed blood, conquer nations, etc.
I don't know much about Gabranth is the issue.
Gaerun will sigh.
If we believed our brother's decision born of spite, we would seal him away where he stands. Alas, Vana speaks true. We see no ruthlessness. We see no certainty. As we look through Gabranth's past, even those that he slaughtered, he did so with turmoil in his heart and under the will of a Dynast King. They are not his lives, but vain solidors.
For the first time, you'll see Gaerun's eyes almost soften as he focuses on Gabranth.
You may not be worthy of the powers of a Dynast King. But those whose blood you carry is not your burden to bear, Noah. Be at peace. Those deaths are veins and veins alone.
Gabranth will stare quietly ahead in response.
That's the one I have trouble with.
Do you bring another candidate, warriors of light?
Let me look at Orpheus and look at Amarid. Your turn.
Now, what you seek in a Dynast King, the ruthlessness you speak of, actions speak louder than words, whereas he did so out of loyalty, but the actions were conducted. He was the only reason Vayne gained so much power, and it wasn't through influence, because Gabranth's resolve is undying. It's something that this world has never seen prior to his being alive. See,
Lies.
Vana will speak up.
What of Vayne Solidor's soldiers? His science division, his airships, the other judges, the other dreadlords, the commanders. Gabranth was an important pawn, yes, but a pawn nonetheless.
ruthlessness is not only sought through violence, it can be through policy. Gabranth was the law in the lands of this planet. People quivered just at the sight of his armor, the sight of his blade shimmering. They knew that his policies were unwavering. They could not defy them for fear of consequences of those actions that may go against those policies and the law. Ruthlessness doesn't just fit, as you said, in bloodshed. It sits in the policies and what the Dynast King represents, the sight of that Dynast King.
The laws enforced by Noah were doctrines pre-written. Rules and orders to follow, nothing more. You, warrior of light, describe a soldier. not a Dynast King.
Normally, I'd give you a persuasion roll, but Vana is kind of negating everything you're saying.
Just doesn't want to hear it, or
It's more the points that you've brought forth are, in his eyes, still just more proof that Gabranth is a soldier following Vane's orders. Like the doctrines that he enforced throughout the land, they were the Emperor's doctrines. They weren't his own. Technically, in almost all aspects, Gabranth was the right hand of Vane Solidor. That's all he was, a tool, a weapon. And that's how Vana sees him.
wasn't the Gabranth fight the final battle of Act 2?
Act
No.
2.
The final battle of Act 2 was the
Act
fight
3.
with Vane.
Oh, it was the fight with Vane.
Yeah, Vane Solidor. Corrupted by the Dark Crystal and empowered by Vana.
Gabranth has to fight leading up to it, I believe.
Yeah, Gabranth was in the room before. Geirun will look at Orpheus with sympathy.
Do you come bearing another choice for us?
You'll see Orpheus kind of like, we do, Geirun. Vana, how good is a king without the right tools, without the right personnel? What if that king had everything in his pocket? What if he could enforce those rules without the need for a warrior to conduct them for him? Vane Solidor reigned as long as he did simply because Gabranth stood in the way of that. Stood in the way of us getting to Vane because Vane couldn't stand it on his own. He couldn't do it. He couldn't take the decisions that needed to be taken in order to win his battles. He had to have somebody like Gabranth do it for him. Because Gabranth was stronger and he could do it. You can say this is all because of Vane, but at the end of the day, the one who carries the act is the true king behind the curtains. Who is Vane without his army? Who is Vane without the judges? Who is Vane without Gabranth there to fix his every mistake, to fight in his stead, and to keep him in that position for as long as he did?
We do not claim
Geirun will answer.
that the Dynast King acts alone. We claim only that the Dynast King be driven by the traits that are required of a ruler, blessed by the Occuria. Gabranth is a formidable soul, but is not a king.
Vana will hover forward.
If you will not present an alternative, then the Occuria shall scatter.
And wanted to get to this, Geirun.
As you're about to speak, Jekyll will raise his hand.
Oh, God. Orpheus will look at Amarid.
Amarid will turn to look at Jekyll and blink a few times.
What the hell are you doing?
Improvising, Master Amarid.
Jekyll will just shrug. Garoon will look at Jekyll for a moment.
Another candidate has been brought forth. Do you claim this candidate is selfless, heroic?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jekyll, but you literally killed yourself to to help your warriors, your fellow warriors of light survive.
That I did. I remember because it hurt a lot.
Yeah. Orpheus will kind of look to Lumi. Does this really happen?
Then Garoon will deem him worthy.
I really think we should bring up Amarid in case... before this finishes.
Zerdun wishes to know if you claim Jekyll is strategic and possesses martial skill.
Orpheus is staring at Lumi right now.
You might actually check the boxes. Offer Amarid.
Garoon, with all due respect, our second candidate is... You'll hesitate. Amarid.
Amarid will raise his hand.
I'm the second candidate, but I kind of want to see this play out.
See, Orpheus will take it, same thing as Amarid was doing earlier on his temple and on his forehead.
To be honest, I don't want to be Dynast King. Garoon will tell you I've always declined and refused it. So even if I match the boxes, I don't want to be Dynast King. But I do think our pal Jekyll here would make a fine Dynast King. And as for strategic, I'll answer that since Orpheus seems to be a little hesitant. Jekyll seems to have, let's call it an abnormally high intelligence. I'm pretty sure that everything he sees looks like numbers to him. Yeah. And he's also really fast at figuring those things out. To be honest, his intelligence is higher than mine. That's saying something. And as for martial prowess, does martial prowess mean specifically physical prowess? Or can martial prowess just encompass martial magic? Because if we're talking martial magic, look into his past and see just how many things he's blown up.
Again,
Garoon
thumb
will
on the
turn
temple.
to Zerdun and then back to Amarid.
Zerdun deems him worthy.
Uh-oh.
Fariat wishes to know, is the candidate wise and knowledgeable?
Amarid will just let out a ha! Causing Garoon's eyes to widen for a moment.
Fariat deems him worthy.
I didn't even answer you, Garoon.
Amarid will raise his hand.
I did.
This wasn't part of the plan, Amarid.
Yeah, but this is kind of entertaining. And to be honest, I actually think he might check all the boxes. Isn't that weird?
Yes, that is very weird. This cannot happen, Amarid.
Why not?
Could you reforge the crystal in his stead?
I'm confused. Why does the Dynast King need to be not reforging the crystal?
Garoon will wait patiently as you two like whisper to each other.
The Red Tower requires an immense amount of power to help defend it.
Okay. If that's what you need, then I'll provide it.
It's not that simple.
It is. I have access to Eidolons that can help in the Red Tower. You want power, I can grant power.
I like leaving things as chance. At chance. The Dynast King would be able to handle it with your aid.
Wouldn't
Or
the
if you were the
Dynast
Dynast King.
Wouldn't the Dynast King be also useful reforging the crystal that's gonna, I don't know, save everyone?
Do I have to mention his needless hunger for power?
To be honest, I think that's a trait in this situation, no?
Okay.
I don't see a downside.
Lumi will join in
Orpheus
for
will
a quick
stand back
second.
up straight.
The last time we underestimated a situation involving Zodiac sires, 3 Warriors of Light died. Try not let that happen again. 3, 2, sorry.
Was I in that party?
Fair point.
Look, if you want this to succeed, we can discuss it after. I'm pretty sure, I don't know all the details, of course, since you only came with this crazy idea half an hour ago, but what I can say is that I doubt that this mission requires a Dynast King. The odds of this mission absolutely requiring a Dynast King are pretty astronomical. I believe that I would be able to help in forging a party, a squad, that will be able to handle this. Did you say Amon?
Yes.
Amon.
It's not really Amon.
It doesn't matter. The point is that we can do it. We don't need the Dynast King. And to be honest, they're about to leave, and I'm
Okay.
not accepting it.
Okay, but he worships you, Amarid. It's known across the land that Jekyll worships you. You need to be by his side if this happens, because he will need to be looked after. And then Orpheus will stand up straight and look at Gaerun. Carry on.
Gaerun will blink and Jekyll will just kind of blink a few times to say, "You aren't being that quiet, you know." I can have some measure of self-control. He'll turn his attention back to Gaerun and his eyes will become starry. Please continue, Master Gaerun.
Fariat. Is he pure? Does he inspire?
As she hovers forward and asks, Amarid will look concerned. Uh-oh.
Pure.
He's always had a good heart, I think.
Wait. Jekyll inspired one of our greatest warriors that's ever lived.
He did?
Jekyll
He did?
Jekyll put his life on the line for one of the greatest warriors that's ever lived. Yes, it's true. Amarid, you have a short memory. Jekyll and you went on your pilgrimage. Your journey started because you had a friend like Jekyll to help you and follow you along and protect you as you finished it. And look at what you are now and who you've inspired. That's an extension of Jekyll. Jekyll was there every step of the way, and without Jekyll, You would have never completed that pilgrimage, isn't that right, Amarid?
You'll see him click for a minute, and then he'll nod.
Utterly and completely. I just wanted to stay home.
We're gonna roll deception there.
Can I help?
Well, if you bring in another, well, no, you brought in the point, so you can roll persuasion. Oh, okay.
That's all I can.
I would also like to intercede and say that our dear and beloved past friend Faras sacrificed himself to bring me back.
That
I
is also
believe that
true.
may fall in the realm of inspiration. Perhaps.
Inspiring for us. That is true.
I do not sense purity. I will concede inspiration. But we do not sense the purity required.
When has Jekyll ever been corrupt in any means?
Jekyll has never been corrupted. He's also always been true to those around him, his allies. He's never once betrayed any soul he's known. As they deserve it. Point is, Jekyll is pure of heart. He's incorruptible. He has never been corruptible. He's stood by his allies from the very beginning, the pilgrimage all the way to where he is now. There is no darkness in his heart. There's no sway. He's pushed out the cosmos using light inside of Zodiac. He's freed a powerful dragon from the grasp of Zodiac using light.
Alright, charisma saving throw with advantage.
You got this.
That's actually really true because he did it with the...
I know, that's why I'm giving you advantage. DC was 40.
Hey.
Oh!
You can't entice saving throws, Thunder. You still made it, so it's fine.
I sense purity. Uncertainty, but purity. Very well. We will deem him worthy.
Fariat will nod. Garoon will turn his attention to Vana. Will hover forward again and just kind of stand in front of Jekyll, again towering over him like he did with Gabranth.
Do you claim this one to be ruthless, indomitable, powerful?
His lust for power has no bounds, first off. Go on, Orpheus.
His ruthlessness goes beyond what we spoke about earlier, actually. Is it not ruthless to channel 90% of a Fabula Nova crystal? I believe he's the only one who's ever done that without hesitation.
Roll persuasion.
I don't like these rolls, man. Ah,
Still a 40.
yeah.
Vana will nod.
Oh my god.
We deem him worthy.
I mean, it's pretty fucking ruthless what I just said.
It is.
You brought us a candidate for the Dynast King blessing. Jekyll, will you accept the blessing?
Jekyll will tilt his head and look at Amarid, then look at you, Orpheus.
This will hesitantly nod.
I will gladly accept. All of the Occuria will glow, their eyes pulsing. The junction materia that was glowing inside Amarid's forearm will fade and rematerialize as 5 orbs of light inside of Jekyll's forearm. As each orb of light just kind of manifests within his forearm, a symbol, an Occurian symbol, will appear on each one, and each one at a time, will flash, 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 as they junction themselves into his Firefly makeup. Each time they flash, Jekyll's head will twitch.
Jesus.
After a moment, the Occuria will fade away one at a time. Leaving only
Jekyll knew. Hey!
And he even has the orbs.
He does! It works! Oh my god.
the Occuria will fade one at a time until only Geirun is left. Vana hovering in the shadows, just kind of watching for a moment.
With this, the 5 have blessed the Dynast King. Master Jekyll, we are yours to command.
Jekyll will look to the left and to the right for a moment, and he'll blink a few times as he thinks.
You are dismissed for now, my friends. I will command you when I need you next.
Geirun will nod.
Wait. Jekyll, I have a question for Gabriel. Before you leave, the deal that you presented to us for rematerializing, or the power that is needed to rematerialize the cosmic crystal, how long does that take?
The ritual to gather the power will take a quarter sun's turning, a quarter of a day, 6 hours. If you wish, we can gather the power before.
Orpheus will turn to Lumi. 6 hours is a long time.
I don't know if the
We require no more than 6 primordials. Their power will be sufficient. They will not be fatigued.
Vana will hover forward.
You speak of a transfer. Curious. Why have you not presented alternatives, Gerun? We collectively agreed that the warriors would not choose such a path. Why not present them with the option and allow them to choose? He is our new king after all. Rest assured, warriors. Vanar's fate is tied to Jekyll's. He is incapable of betrayal. Should the concern enter your hearts.
Vana will turn his gaze to Gerun as if insulted.
Present the alternative, Vanar, if you will. 5 primordials. Reduced to naught but mortal eidolons, or the life of 1 primordial. The soul of a consumed primordial will be worth 5 times the small portion you take from each of them. That power will reforge your crystal. Well, it will be enough. You will still require the power of the mage, His Highness.
Jekyll's gonna get a kick out of this. Should we decide to go the alternative route, and the primordial doesn't fight the power being taken.
Fight or not, it matters not.
If he chooses, or they choose not to fight the draining of the power soul, can it be done quicker?
Vana will turn to Gerun. Gerun will respond.
A few minutes. The power being drained at such a rate will be agony for the one who is being undone. We wish transparency with our Dynast King. Know that whoever you do this, that whoever you curse with this, will suffer immensely.
Vana will hover forward till he's right in front of Orpheus, and the shadows will culminate and form into what looks like an iron rail spike. On the flat end of the iron rail spike will be an Occurian rune. As he hovers this item in front of Orpheus, and it just kind of hovers into Orpheus's hand, Vana will emphasize,
whether they choose it or not, it does not matter.
With your king's newfound power, the actual transference of the energy, does he still need a catalyst for it?
Our dear Fariat. Always incorruptible. But with other helpful traits, is that not right, brother? Fariat will heal him as his body is torn apart. His resistance in being able to channel magic through his body has been amplified fivefold.
Jekyll's eyes will once again become the size of saucers.
So he physically put an item in my hand?
Yeah. It looks like a railway spike. You know, like a vampire stake
Yeah.
made of metal.
Yeah.
It has a Occuria rune on the tip of it, on the flattened tip of it. A flat end, and then the spiky end is spiky.
Orpheus will look at the spike. This is why I know I would not be a fit Dynast King. He'll pocket it.
I simply offer it out of transparency. If the opportunity arises, you will be happy to have it.
Orpheus will not. We will call upon you when it's needed.
What happens if we somehow pierce Zodiac with this thing?
Vana will hesitate, and Geirun will glare at him. And Vana will shake his head.
Piercing. Nothing will draw nothing.
Fair point.
You will create a black hole and everyone will die.
Got it. Don't prick Zodiac with that thing.
What about the tree?
It is of the same being, the same result.
Orpheus will not.
Jekyll, my lord. My unique ability allows you to remain undetectable, so if you wish, no amount of power that you wield will reveal you.
That's
Not
useful.
a bad thing.
Should you require more knowledge of our abilities, simply call Vana, and I will aid. As Dynast King, your body acts as a frequency stone. What your friend holds in his hand, you may call any of us at any time. As wraiths, I must warn you, our ability to manipulate the material world is limited. But we can empower you. Or,
And he'll turn his attention to you, Orpheus, and then to Lumi.
you can transfer our powers to your allies temporarily. As wraiths, we have the power to possess. The choice is yours, Your Highness.
And with that, Vana will fade into the shadows.
Is there anything else you would require of us?
We will call upon you when we need to draw the energy.
Very well.
Giroon will fade, evaporating into mist.
So, Jekyll.
I
Amarid.
believe that's your highness now.
Oh my god.
It is a joke, my friends. It is nothing but jest. Ah.
And then you'll turn to Amarid. And this is why you were concerned.
Let us
Jekyll.
not blame me for things that have not occurred yet, please. I simply made a jest in passing. Yes? See, I still respond to Jekyll.
I believe that you no longer require something that is on you with this newfound power. Should the crystal not go back to the Grand Maester, it would protect him.
Surely he speaks heresy. Seize him! I'm sorry. I'm letting you get to my head again.
So,
He'll just kind of whistle and start walking away.
Jekyll.
And then he'll stop. Roll persuasion with disadvantage.
Jekyll, we put Amarid at risk without that crystal. He is at risk
All
of
right.
the influence from Zodiark.
Persuasion, normal. You can remove the disadvantage since you mentioned Amarid being at risk.
Hey.
But it's mine. My own. My precious.
Jekyll, you
Take it
will
out of his robes and stare at it for a moment.
Can I at least have it back when we're done? Please?
You're going to be crafting one, Jekyll.
Oh!
True. And then he'll just hand it to Amarid. Amarid will
Thank
take it and look at it as if he's stunned that that actually happened.
Okay, so Amarid is now. You are now safe from Zodiark's influence with that crystal, Amarid.
That's good
Sure.
to know. I haven't heard
Sure.
any whispers, however.
That'll probably get stronger
Sure.
as you approach the Red Tower and Amon
Yes.
himself.
I see. Would I be able to protect myself with an Eidolon, then?
Depends on which one.
I have an old friend that I think, since Nova was reformed, has not had a chance to flex his muscles. And I believe he would be helpful against Zodiac.
Who do you speak of?
Oh! I would love to see that if I wasn't the king and reforging the crystal.
You speak of Alexander.
Alexander.
In his ascended form, he just might be powerful enough.
Alexander represents, well, everything Zodiark isn't. I believe that Alexander would be a good ally, and I'm almost certain that should I ask for his aid, he will offer it.
I don't see why not, Orpheus.
Orpheus is nodding. You
wanna
sound
avoid-
like you.
If one of your warriors needs protection, because I have other allies I can call upon. If you wish, I can offer Alexander to them.
Is Mimsy protected, Lumi?
Last I heard, he had Lucifer junctioned, and that's a bit of a coin flip given his dual nature. I couldn't tell you.
She wouldn't part ways with Lucifer, though.
Technically, the fact that Lucifer is aligned to both would cancel out anything that would be able to mind control him. However, it would also cancel the ability to be able to protect the one he is sired to, junctioned to. Junctioned is the word. Dynast King
Orpheus,
should know better.
Orpheus will turn to Gabranth. Gabranth, you have a thread. It's been given to you.
I do.
He'll turn back to Amarid. That thread can be given to Mibsy, who would protect her. And Alexander, I think a fitting choice for the judge to protect him.
Now that's an idea.
But what of the state of Zaramus, who's currently junction to him? Is it well enough?
Yes.
You're currently repairing a summon materia?
Yes, perhaps you can take Zeramis.
I can take Zeramis. The water crystal should protect me from any influence. Zeramis is cosmic aligned, I'm afraid. I don't know if that opens a vulnerability.
Gabranth will reach into his forearm and take out a violet summon materia and hand it to Amarid, who will then junction it into his forearm.
Oh my god, I was gonna talk as if you were handing it to me, Steph. I still have Amarid as myself in my head. I was just about to talk. If you said that. Sorry.
I believe I have someone else I might be able to procure who would protect me. True, it would not have no access to me and would be used as purely a power source while he is repaired.
Could you not amplify the water crystal with a water idol?
Excuse me.
I could attempt to go get Leviathan. Leviathan has ascended as well.
I believe Jekyll has a friend on him as well. I don't know if he would be powerful enough though.
I would not ask Jekyll to part ways with Bismarck. Besides, we've already taken the water crystal from him. Let's not add insult to injury for our new king.
Why does it sound like you're making fun of me? That sounds like treason talk to me. Again, I jest.
I can't tell.
Sorry, I'm actually researching here, just making sure that Amarid has
Yeah.
this in his list of contacts. Yeah, okay.
I know of a way to keep him sustained without him having direct access to me, and I think that should keep me safe. I'll just go procure Vecna gun again.
Yeah, so I don't like the word think, Amarid.
Very well. Then we can offer it to someone else. I still think getting Vecna gun's a decent idea.
You know best when it comes to eidolons. I just don't want there to be a chance.
Understood.
How does Zeramis look like he recovered a bit being with Gabranth?
He has recovered, but he is not fully, his faith is not fully repaired yet. If we removed it, it would start to deteriorate again, albeit at a slower rate.
So,
Do you know of anyone who can hold in for the moment?
Not in our ranks at the moment.
Maybe an ex-warrior of light? Oh, I know someone! Torbad! Torbad doesn't carry an idol.
That's surprising.
And Torbad, unless you plan on sending him close to Zodiark, will be nowhere near him. And Torbad is protected by his own Lunarian runes.
No, he's not part of the current plan, so that does track, logically.
If that is the case, then I say we found our potential babysitter, which means I can go get Alexander for you.
He'll just kind of clasp an arm on Gabranth's shoulder.
Very well. If that's all, I'm gonna go get Alexander. Is there anything else?
I think that pretty much covers it. You'll turn to Lumi.
Be on your guard. Amon was already a powerful magus. Empowered by Zodiac? No, Gabranth is familiar.
I am privy to the visions. I saw what he did. Wow, what Hyo did. I'll be sure to be careful. And I'm sure Gabranth has experience dealing with echoes of Amon. Do you not?
Gabranth will nod.
I'm pretty sure we'll be okay.
Perhaps, Amarid, you could speak with Jekyll as well once we've left. Jekyll was there defending against the previous Amon that the warriors fought. Not the same one as Gabranth.
Yes, in my previous peasant's life, I did aid in that matter.
Oh god.
All right.
Alright.
If that's all, then that's session over.
Yep, that's it. Oh my god, what a twist. I was
What
just
a
telling
twist.
Thunder, I'm like, okay. I mean, there's always twists, so we should have expected something like this.
I don't think anyone could have expected that.
And this is because I said I wanted Jekyll to be there so that
Yep.
we could tell him
Yep.
how to fucking do it, and now he has them. Oh
On the bright
this-
side, as the Dynast King, he has the knowledge of the Occuria. Which
So he
means
would-
that
Yeah,
he
I know.
knows how to do it now.
Yeah, he actually knows how to do it. Damn, that's actually a hell of a boost.
And I think me telling him that he was gonna craft a crystal probably puts the cosmic crystal in his hands once it's reforged.
Probably.
Okay. Well, that's
Not what we expected, but it works.
it works.
Alright.
I'm a little scared for the red tower. I'm a little scared. But yeah, could have gone a lot worse. Could have just denied all our candidates. Man, I can't believe I was like, I can't believe Steph caught onto it though. When I looked at Amarid and I was like, yeah, you wouldn't have done it without him.
It's a little spooky, but you are setting Amarid to the red tower now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to stay home.
Yeah, so it's Amarid, Gabranth, Mimsy at the red tower, with Kaldis obviously.
Yeah.
The issue is Kaldis thinking that they're enemies, like visions, right?
Mhm.
Especially somebody like Gabranth, who is to a lot of people dead.
Well, that's why we sent Mimsy. Hopefully.
So that's the red tower. I wanted a Dynast King there, but Amarid seemed pretty fucking confident, even though I'm still a little worried.
Amarid's always confident,
And
though.
we, in that exchange, we successfully can protect Mimsy, keep Gabranth protected, protect Amarid and Jekyll. So I mean, it's not a bad turnout.
Not by any means. Hey Jekyll, if you want a new commander, Spiritus kind of stepped down. If they make my brother the new emperor, I'll become your commander of armies. Jesus Christ. We're playing in Tom already.
Well,
That's Depolo.
the politics.
We got a power boost for
I
inside.
was waiting for Vana just to be like, yo, channeled almost 100% of a water crystal, okay? Try to fucking argue that one.
It's funny. I had if I rolled the Vana argued, I had Jekyll just kind of like tilting his head and widening his eyes, and like kind of just casually threatening to evaporate all 5 of them,
My god. Yeah, that's ruthless.
just like as like a bit of a show of ruthlessness and power all in one, and then for them to like look into his soul and see if he's serious and see themselves getting dissipated.
Oh yeah, that would have been pretty fucking cool too, though.
Shit.
That would have been neat.
You had to go and win the roll.
Yeah, I won the roll. Doesn't matter. Or sorry, Steve won the roll.
Yeah.
So I don't like the idea of stabbing a primordial and having
Neither
them
do I.
suffer like crazy,
Yeah.
even if they put themselves forward to like say
Yeah.
I want to be at rest, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like that idea.
It kind of feels a little icky, but we may have to do it depending on what we get.
Yeah, so if we don't do that, we need to plan that 6-hour window very carefully.
That means either one of two things. That means we start the ritual and keep Zodiac preoccupied for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Or...
Well, Steph, in the circumstances, if we need to delay Zodiac for 6 hours, will he just annihilate us after 5? Or is there like exceptions for story scenarios like this?
I knew that was coming.
No. No, he'll annihilate you.
Yeah, okay, so we
gonna
need
have to
to
figure
plan
out-
that hour.
Yeah, you need to figure out. Yeah, exactly. You need to fuck around and try and figure out.
Where
like
to
if
gain an
you're-
hour.
Like, if you're going to do it, then you need to win a phase and go into a new phase for a round.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be
Yeah,
tough.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, we would go net positive in phases, though. Because once the crystal's forged, he goes back to Erebus.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I don't like the stake idea. So let's try and like brainstorm in the next like day or so, what can be done to gain that hour
Whoops.
if we don't phase, right? Oh yeah, let me add that to my inventory.
Oh, I need to
Yeah,
add
there's
that.
more rewards.
What are you
I
talking
want to
about?
add that if we, we're gonna think about it obviously. If we don't think about it, like we don't, we have to end up choosing someone to sacrifice. It's probably going to be Spiritus. Let's be honest, because he's the most out of all of them. Like
That wants to go.
wants to redeem himself, kind of thing. He's got that kind of like tragedy in motion kind of thing going on. So if we do choose that route, and we do choose to sacrifice him, I would like to do an RP session with him before he goes, or at least we should tell him through an RP.
Yeah, so I have a question about that, because theoretically, don't we have 2 solutions to forging the crystal power-wise now? Like, why would we need the stake?
Because one solution is a time crunch, the other one's not.
What do you mean?
I prefer using and planning properly the 6 hours.
What I feel like I'm missing something, because as far as the pure, do you mean reforging the crystal will take 6 hours?
No, gathering the power required to reforge it will take 6 hours.
Okay. Does that include if we use the grimoire?
The Grimoire's a
So-
separate entity.
Yeah, that's a separate idea. And if we do use the grimoire, we don't have a backup really, because we can't use the Occuria if we use the grimoire, because it'll take too long, right? We confirm that, unless we stab somebody. And the grimoire also has, opposite effects. So it's a gamble. So we talked about this at the very beginning before we started. The grimoire would be a gamble in the sense that we don't know, we don't control the outcome of the negatives that come from doing this. It's the same reason why the Occuria, they said, we can just pop the crystal back into existence for you, but it's going to cost a lot more. Well, the grimoire is similar magic, right, to the Occuria. So channeling or doing an incantation to bring the crystal back will have opposite effects, negative effects that will happen, and we don't know what they are. So it could be like, half of the Eidolians on Chrysalis just fucking disappear. Their faith circles are just gone, and we'll realize it after when Steph does like
Okay.
a post recap. So we decided not to take the gamble and control the power being drawn, and not killing anybody, right?
The one that I think is the most feasible now, and the reason I don't understand is because Torbad gave us the power pack that Karos can carry that has enough power to reforge the crystal.
Yep.
I acknowledge that it exists, but I don't like it as a plan A. I don't. Torbad doesn't know if that's enough power. He theorizes it is.
Exactly. So we talked about that too, Easter. It's a theory that Torbad, obviously he's gonna defend that he calculated it properly, which
Now,
maybe he did, but we take that risk,
I
and
will,
it fails, we're kind of stuck.
I will say that now that Jekyll is Dynast King, we could actually have him fact check Torbad's theory. Because now that Jekyll is Dynast King, he knows the method, and I would assume the requirement, right? Is that a logical leap?
Yeah.
So
I didn't think about asking about that. I have a feeling that it requires, because battery packs, what is it, right? It's
it's
funneling
30.
new power into that balance. We're not taking from others and putting it in there, just like moving it around. We're adding power to that balance. I have a feeling that might play a part. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Not really.
I'm not following.
So when we reforge the crystal with the Occuria, with an incantation, there's a balance effect that happens, right? So why the incantation would most likely work is because it's keeping the natural order of things, right? We're taking power from one entity and putting it into the crystal that we're forging. We're not adding any power to that. We're just taking it from one place and moving it to another.
Okay.
Same thing with the Occuria. We're taking power from the primordials and just moving it somewhere else. It stays in the natural order of things. Whereas the batteries, you're adding to that. And so you're creating like a balance issue, so to speak.
That doesn't make sense though, because the energy inside of the battery has to come from somewhere. Like Torbad didn't magic it up. Because if the primordials work, the ultimate thing that gives them their power, or gave them their power originally, is the rift energy. And Torbad uses rift energy in his machines. So if his battery is adding to the equation instead of being a zero sum, then it doesn't make sense that the primordials would also be the same thing. Like, it's fundamentally, it's the same kind of energy. So I don't understand the math you're doing there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I see it as synthetic. But
technically, I mean, I'm not sure how he makes it now. But before, it was this kind of really convoluted process where he would have to make the Novan energy, and then he would fuse it with Mako, and he would just make it himself. But I would guess with Nova being present, the process just became a lot more efficient because he can get that energy directly without having to make it. So,
is Steph still here?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Can you did you hear what we were talking about?
No, I just sat down.
Oh, okay. Can you chime in on just without, I guess, giving us any answers? Chime in on the notion, because what I was saying is that the batteries are synthetic. That's how I saw them, right? Like Easter makes a very good point that the energy needs to be sourced from somewhere, from the natural order. But I see it as, the incantation and the Occuria is just a displacement of power. So we take power from one area and we put it somewhere else, right, in that crystal. that we're reforging. And so the natural order of that balance is not affected. Okay? Which is why the incantation has a good chance of working without, unknown effects, like lessened unknown effects. Because the natural order of things is kept intact. I was seeing the batteries as more of a synthetic thing where you're adding power to that balance and so creating a disbalance in the natural order. Is that something that doesn't make sense? Because Easter was saying that power needs to be sourced somewhere, which I think is a good point. So it does come from the natural order of things. It was just focused into these batteries, or is it truly synthetic?
The energy in the batteries is basically energy from the rift. So it's not synthetic, it's real.
Okay.
The problem is the way that Torbat gathers the energy, it's in this heavy ass clunky thing that can be damaged and that has no stealthing, like no way of hiding the energy you're carrying.
Okay.
That's the difference. It's a power source, just like the Primordial's power source is a power source. And also, you also have the not guaranteed fact that Torbat is absolutely right in his calculations that it's enough.
Yeah.
You're just kind of trusting him that it's enough.
On that...
What?
I was going to say, on that note, now that Jekyll is Dynast King and he has access to the knowledge of the Occuria, even so much as the method of creating the crystal now, could we fact check Torbat's calculations with Jekyll? And like
there's no way for Jekyll to do that unless he starts drawing on the power.
Oh, okay.
There's no way to know, right? In the moment, how much Zodiark is going to fight, how much power Jekyll is going to need.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a very real risk that as Keros is walking towards this area with that battery, with those batteries,
it's a massive battery pack. It's like 6 feet tall, straps onto his back. If he fights with that thing on, I'm giving him debilitations. First of all.
And it can draw attention.
It's humming and pulsing rift energy inside the void.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could Jekyll be able to transfer that into a smaller vessel, condense it, being the Dynast King?
So the way Torbat has taken the energy, that's the way it's going to be housed. If you transfer it somewhere else, you can. There will be loss.
Yeah.
Like during the transfer, there will be loss of energy during the transfer.
Yeah.
So I have a question along those lines.
It's also actually a very real problem during the actual reforging of the crystal. The party is going to have to deal with the loss of energy during the transfer.
Yeah.
Tsukiyomi brought it up.
Yeah. Yeah, she's our plan B. We're trying to get a plan A for the catalyst.
Oh, plan.
Sorry, Easter, what?
So, could the I'm a little ignorant of how the Occuria's powers work, obviously, but could we not have Vana possess Keros to mitigate the amount of energy that the thing is putting out since he's carrying it?
So if there's one Occuria I don't want Jekyll to send to somebody else, it's Vana.
That's funny.
That's the first thing that went through my head when Vana is the one to actually say this, where he can possess other people temporarily. In my head, I was like, okay, we could probably trust like 3 out of the 5, maybe Fariat, okay? But Vana, we cannot allow to possess somebody else. And I think Jekyll is smart enough to know that.
On that question.
Even so, Easter, it's the person he's possessing that is protected from being detected, not the objects they are carrying.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could argue with you, like if he's holding a Fabula Nova crystal, fine, it's not detectable because it's small and on his person. The whole point of this thing is that it's a big clunky ass battery. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say no. Venaw's unique ability won't protect it from being detected.
Okay.
But because it's kind of like the intent is this thing is, it's primitive. It's not Occurian, right? So.
Don't forget, I have those things there.
Things there.
The things there.
Yeah, the red chocobo feathers.
What do those do
Forget I
again?
have those. I think it's plus 25 to base weapon damage for the remainder of the fight.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, and it's plus 25 weapon damage and plus 25% weapon crit for the remainder of the current encounter.
Yeah, that's a silenced consumable right there. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
Good.
I have 3 of them.
It's 3 phases.
And I've been holding on to them for these last
As you should.
these last events.
As
So,
you should.
Going forward, parties that can benefit from that, could be good as well. If we expect a party with lower damage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You bring a utility instead and 1 DPS, right? Then that DPS, if he can benefit from weapon damage and crit, then it's very good to have on him for those scenarios.
Absolutely.
I think your candidates are Dragoon and like half the Pyromancer. The Knight for damn sure.
The Thief.
The Thief, yeah.
The thief,
Oh,
yeah.
the thief, yeah.
Bonus action dagger attacks.
Yeah, the thief
That would
and
be
the
great.
assassin are very good with these items. People that can spam, like Brandon's knight would be amazing with it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, if only it gave spell and spell crit.
That's probably a different color.
Yeah, maybe the blue
Fucking-
chocobo.
I could see Easter stalking blue chocobos and like ripping out their feathers.
Tell
I
you
wanna
who's
rip
worse,
them out.
Trevos.
I would take them where they fall.
I mean, even on Trevos, it's
Wait.
not that bad, right, Apollo?
God damn.
I mean,
Steph,
yeah, it's not gonna work on a
keep
minus strike,
forgetting to ask, and I finally remembered.
Hmm?
I finally remembered. Can I, whether by going into debt or whatever, have adjust the stats on my armor and my accessory, if possible?
Yes.
Why?
Well, technically the reason's the same for both. I got them when I was a duelist, and so they have duelist stats. So I was just going to focus them a little bit more.
I think you can do that with ancient coins, no?
I think you can, yeah.
I have ancient coins, so I can do that. I just wasn't sure if I could change, like for example, my armor has 3 +8s on it, but no mana. So I was gonna have mana on my armor, and then condense the stats on the scale.
Oh, you want to do that kind of modification. Those are tougher to do. Usually cost standby time and blacksmithing.
Yeah.
Coliseum stat alteration is primary stat to primary stat and costs 1250.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that because it's duelist, it's entirely primary stat. So I don't have a whole lot of can you adjust from stat to stat cap?
No.
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 Okay.
Just write a write a concise description of the modifications you want to make and send them to me, and I'll give you a cost.
Okay.
Do we know if I'll need the soul for the barriers, or can I get a different soul?
I have no fucking clue.
Is it worth the risk of removing the barrier soul?
What does the barrier still do again? Let me look.
One
Like, I
shot
can
any
instant-
barrier.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking good. We're seeing barrier mechanics a lot more lately. What's your
Oh,
alternative?
did somebody
Yeah.
say barriers? I've been waiting so long.
And you'll keep waiting.
I've been waiting for so long for somebody to put a barrier in front of me.
Wait, do you do more damage or something?
So as long as there's a barrier, I spec into if my spell fails to deal damage, my Exorcismus fails to deal damage, I get the entire resource back. So I can
Okay.
back to back deal 300 plus damage as long as somebody has a shield up.
Wait, it's the
So you can down a shield pretty quick.
Extremely
Doing that.
quickly, yeah.
it's the Ignis soul, right?
Yeah.
The primary function of your Garrett ability would not only function against lesser enemies, regardless of your shroud status. You can probably swap with that restriction. Because like only
No,
function
I don't
lesser
care
enemies.
about that restriction.
Why not? Because if you can't Garrett the thing in the first place, if it's like a mythic boss, then you can't hit the shield.
No. It works on everything. The effect of my Garrett is the insta kill greater enemy. So it reduces that. That's the negative aspect. But I can still Garrett a boss and deplete the shield.
Ah.
Yes.
I went
That is
yeah,
how
I
it
went
works.
through this with Steph. I asked the same question.
I was gonna
to
change the
Steph.
wording.
I see. I mean, it does say primary function. I just
Yeah, the
Yeah.
primary function is
Primary
the insta
function
killing.
is insta killing.
Yeah.
Well, so I figure people will know what it means, but evidently not.
Yeah, but if they don't know the assassins, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Garrett just insta kills.
what do you replace? What would you want to replace it with?
I'll tell you that in a second. It's a fun one. It's a really fun.
If you say Vana, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
If I say which one?
Vana. Just because we just interacted with Vana.
No, it's not Vina. It is Tancred.
Any damaging ability or standard weapon attack that forcefully disables your hidden will deal an additional 50 and convert to crit. Yeesh.
Yeah.
I mean, what takes you out of stealth? Is it just Last Breath? Last Breath and Garrot?
Any action. Any action.
Yeah.
I'm a bonus action guy, but yeah, it's when I last breath, it's gonna deal 50 damage more, and then if I have the feathers, it's gonna deal 75 damage more.
A lot of damage.
You're stacking it.
Yeah, that's I don't know.
This is what Brandon felt like.
Stacking it.
It's gonna it's
stacking it.
like I'll be doing just my plus my plus modifier will be at 400. So I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but the barrier thing is very useful.
Yeah, it is. For
In case of, I've used it once so far since I equipped it.
sure. If you think about it like this, what do you think you're gonna get value-wise out of the barrier damage? Probably like 500 is a good barrier health number that we've seen. So if you assume you're gonna get at least 500 damage worth of value out of it on a single Garrot now, it's like pretty good.
Yeah.
You get extra bonus damage with Yojimbo when that eventually happens. You do. Oh, it's extra barrier damage. Okay, never mind. But everything you do gets converted to chaos damage as well. That's pretty cool.
I could take Zeramis. No? Oh no, I'd be so vulnerable.
You would be
No, not
hella.
anymore because he'd be reduced,
I mean, he'd be reduced.
right? Zodiark.
Oh yeah, I mean,
If he's no longer Zodiark, he's no longer possessing people who are
Yeah.
cosmic aligned.
but we don't
I
even know what
could've taken
Zodiac or what
Zeramis.
Zeramis does. We know what Yojimbo does. It gives you
Yeah, but Yojimbo, does he give things that benefit me?
movement, dex, wisdom, health, physical and magic damage dealt to barriers is increased by 25, and slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning damage is now chaos damage. Can now be chaos damage.
I'm going to lose so many stats.
I mean, yeah, you're losing a fully synced primordial.
Like, so many stats. Like, I'm gonna become Pepega. That's what I'm gonna become. Jeez. What happens if I devouring Maw Zodiarch?
My God.
Just as an end of act thing, you know?
Just fuck around and find out.
Just end of act. Let's just devour the Zodiarch.
Start everything again with Orpheus as the bad guy.
Yep.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts, Orpheus is the final boss.
On the bright side, Steve gets to play Dynast King Jekyll.
That'd be hilarious. He made the first fucking joke, and I was like, "Yeah, this was a bad idea." We should have known this would happen.
There's no way you guys think that was serious. That was so funny. I love that.
No.
I love my own idea for sure. It's like, what did he say? Seize him!
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh man.
He clearly speaks heresy.
It's treason then.
I don't know. I think Jekyll's a great choice.
I'm joking.
No, I know. I'm not arguing with you. It's more of his singular focus is acquiring power, but it isn't because of most people who seek power. They seek it for a reason. They seek it because they feel small, because they want to exert control over others, etc. Jekyll's reason is just that he wants to feel it. He wants to feel the power. There's no like, oh, he wants to make the weak bow, or he wants to exert control over it. There's nothing like that. His quest for power is about the same as Caldus's quest for power, except Caldus leans a little more towards knowledge, but I think even Jekyll wants it for knowledge purposes, for experience, So, I don't think Jekyll becomes power hungry and becomes a bad guy in 1,000 years. I don't think so. So, I don't think he's a bad Dynast King.
Are Mysidians
How long do
biologically immortal?
Mysidians live?
Mysidians are unique in that their body composition reconstitutes itself based on the amount of power they have, like junction to them.
Oh my God.
And also
Okay,
the amount
nice.
of power that kind of surrounds them.
Oh
So,
my God.
yeah, he'll live a long time.
Jesus. Okay.
So, I mean,
Did it?
I don't see him becoming a bad guy. I really don't. So,
No, I don't think Jekyll's not evil by any means. That's
No.
never how I played him, and so
No,
you
no.
captured that really well.
Jekyll's chaotic good.
Pure? I don't know. Like we won that argument, but
that's because you hit the DC is the only reason you won that argument.
yeah.
And also, his like I said, his aspirations, his motivations are pure. There's no, it's about experience, So, I think I was fine. I think I stretched it a bit. The thing is, sadly, short of a critical success, you were never, ever convincing Vana that Gabranth was worthy. Because Vana saw firsthand why Gabranth did what he did, and he did it out of a sense of honor and duty. He didn't do it because he wanted to. Gabranth didn't want to do it the whole time.
Oh,
He was suffering.
Yeah.
Worth a shot.
And Amarid is way too stubborn. He's like, I don't want it. I'm not taking it. And then that's when I came up with the saving throw for Amarid, and then Amarid went, I like this Jekyll idea. To be honest.
I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, not a bad session. I'm just happy we got a king because when Vana was being very closed off in my head, I was like, fuck, okay. Present Amarid. If that one doesn't work, because he's probably gonna refuse it because they ask if you accept. Do we call like Balthiran? You know,
Just so we can have one at that point.
Balthier would have probably passed.
Yeah.
As much as he doesn't want to.
again, we'd have to convince him to accept it.
Sorry,
right?
Balthier. Leadership calls. Men answer. They don't choose.
Fariat would have chosen him, and he would have been like, I am not pure. I'm as bad as they get. I'm a pirate.
I mean, having the Jekyll Dynast King on our side is not a bad idea. It's not a bad deal. So
It does come with a lot of bonuses.
Seize him!
Except that.
yeah.
Who's he even talking to?
I have no idea. I just thought it was funny.
He thinks he's like fucking king of the world right now.
I mean, technically
He
he is.
is.
The Occuria believe the Dynast King rules the world.
I see him just like, strutting down the hallways, like hopping.
So funny.
I already see it. He'll be in Castle Cornelia and just try to sit on the throne.
I actually prepped Jekyll's new model for the final session that was canceled this weekend.
Oh.
And when this was happening and the rolls were going in that direction, I was like, I can use the new model.
Yeah, it looks great. It's the one with when we were playing with it together, huh, Steph?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's the one I generated with AI, and then I was sending you a bunch of different ones, and you liked this one.
Yeah. Jeez.
Okay, I turn off stream now.
I'm happy actually that it played out in the way that Jekyll actually keeps Bismarck.